together celebrating with the Gaby and Frey families. Mazel tov to all of you as we share together this morning. I want to start by sharing that during this pandemic, I've received a few calls that have kind of played out during these lines. I'll try to kind of act out the phone calls for you. Hey, Rabbi. Hi. So nice to hear from you. How are you? Pretty good. We've got some great news. Wonderful. We're getting married, and we are considering having a celebration in the shul. Do you think we can have the afruf, the special aliyah in the shul? Well, there is this whole little pandemic going on. So, I'm sorry to say, unfortunately, it's going to have to be on Zoom. Is that okay? Oh, well, forget it. We don't want to trouble anyone during the pandemic. This is the point in the conversation where my heart drops a little bit, but I try to stay in my compassionate listening mode. I understand, but I think holding, an afruf, that special aliyah on Zoom, will be really special, and not just for you and your family and friends, but for our whole community, which could really use a little bit of joy amidst all of these challenges. Okay, Rabbi, we'll think it over. Okay. Thanks. Nice to speak with you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope we can still celebrate. Bye. As both Sophie and Ariana brilliantly introduced it, this week's Torah reading, Parashat Ki Tavo, has the Israelites right at the threshold of entering the land of Israel. After wandering for 40 years through the wilderness, they are ready to now move into the land, the promised land. Though we know that their great leader, Moshe, will not get to enter the land with them. But like a really good parent or a wonderful grandparent, he sends them off with everything that they will need. A backpack, a final backpack of great teachings, a metaphoric water bottle for the road ahead. He tells them, Vaya ki tavo el haaretz, asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha. When you enter that land that Adonai your God is giving to you as a heritage, let's think about what we might do if we reach a moment of blessing in our lives, kind of a metaphoric promised land of sorts. Well, once we get there, hopefully we would pause for a moment. We might write notes of thanks, of appreciation to all those who helped us get where we now are. Maybe to our teachers, our mentors, our parents and friends, our partners, even to our children. How did the ancient Israelites do this? Well, once their farms were now producing, and don't forget, almost all of them were farmers, they took their best fruits and they put them in a basket. I'll use our special candy. And they brought their baskets to the temple in Jerusalem. And then they recited a little mini history of their journey, not just their personal journey, but of all of Jewish history up until that point. They expressed gratitude for all the blessings that they had in their lives. And as Sophie and Ariana explained, it wasn't just gratitude, it was also, they acknowledged all that their ancestors had suffered and sacrificed to bring them to that point, to bring them to the land. But then the Parsha doesn't end there. It goes on to a litany of brachot uklalot, blessings and curses, or as I like to give it a little modern update these days, opportunities and challenges. Life is, of course, filled with opportunities and challenges, especially these days as we face the pandemic and a world riddled with deep problems and injustices. We merely need to look around or turn on our TVs, our computers, or our phones. But there are also opportunities, moments of blessing, sparks of light. Now, I remember studying this Torah portion as a youngster in yeshiva, and I, all of 13 at the time in 8th grade, asked the rabbi, why are there so many more curses in this parsha than blessings? And it's not even close. Perhaps a ratio of like 4-1. He answered, well, it reflects reality. He said that life is hard. I nodded as a little 8th grader. I nodded sadly. And then he concluded with a question to me. He said, which do your parents do more? Do they tell you more often to do something or not to do something? I thought for a split second, thinking about which answer he wanted. And then I realized he wanted me to say not to do something. Right, he continued. So Moshe is warning the people not to mess around a lot more than telling them how they should be rewarded. I nodded my head. That was that. But I have to admit, I didn't like the answer back then. And I still don't love the answer. So today I want to offer a different approach, a different way of looking at this, and maybe you'll find it helpful. I believe that the Torah mentioned many fewer blessings than curses, many few, as we would say today, opportunities than challenges, to remind us about how precious blessings are. They are rare, and they do not come around every day. And when they do, we should stop, pause, and bring our fruits to the temple, literally or metaphorically, even if it's in the middle of a pandemic, or especially if it's in the middle of a pandemic. A blessing is a ray of light. It's a beam of hope that shines through the darkness. I don't know about you, but right now where I'm sitting in my office, there are just these beams of sunlight coming right in through the windows. Now, when it's dark, really dark, and we can see that on numerous levels right now, metaphorically in our world, on many levels. Now, when it's dark, literally dark, even just a small light that shines brings incredible brightness. Think about it when you're outside in the dark. This happened to me the other night as I was walking my dog Bamba. My headlamp was kind of fading, but even just a little bit of light coming from that headlamp had great power to illuminate the darkness. Perhaps that's why that during this time of year, as the days are getting rapidly shorter and shorter, each week in this area, we're losing about a quarter of an hour. We start reciting a psalm that opens with light. It is my favorite psalm, maybe because it's so beautiful, or maybe because we start reciting it on my Hebrew birthday, one or the other. But either way, as we approach these days of awe, these days of deep introspection, self-transformation, we turn to this psalm for support and strength. And it opens with LeDavid, Adonai uri v'ishimi mi yira. a Psalm of David. Adonai, the one who is in all places and moments. Adonai, the one who is in all places and moments. God is my light, my Uri, and my Ishi, my help. Mimi ira, from whom shall I fear? When we are afraid, when we are anxious, we are invited to think about Uri. We are invited to think about rays of light, moments of blessing. So I invite you right now, here on Zoom, to take a brief moment, to close your eyes, to take a deep breath, and think of a blessing in your life. For what are you thankful? For what are you grateful? What are those rays of light in your life? Find those blessings. Hold on to them. We cannot make all the challenges. We cannot make all the curses of this year go away. But we can hold each other, support one another, and find blessing, even in the small